Hello, welcome to another episode of the Long Hop Cricket Podcast with me, Owen. As always, alongside me is Dave. And today we're going to be covering the third ODI between India and England. But first of all, I'm going to ask Dave how his couple of days in between podcasting has been, because I know this is his favourite thing to do. How's your weekend been, Dave?
It's been busy.
Been busy? You've been working, haven't you?
Well, unfortunately, I've had to take work home with me this weekend, and I've done the thing of...
It's not podcast work, though.
No, it's
not the good stuff.
Paid work. Fallen into the mistake of just worrying about it for 2 days and then not doing it until the final night.
Yeah, good.
So you have proven to be a lovely distraction, and I'm going to get back to work after the most important thing in my life, which is
the podcast.
The Long Hop Cricket Podcast.
What else would it be?
How's your weekend been?
Really good. I just, as listeners know, got my cricket bat back after its refurbishment. Basically, it's not had much done to it. Just that I ruined it, and they've.
So what did you do?
I tried to take the stickers off by myself. I thought, for anyone who's thinking of doing
did
it,
you just take it off?
Yeah, I just peeled it off. I just ripped it off, and it takes bits of wood with it as well because they're so sticky.
Left on an even surface on the top of your.
And
bat.
I was just thinking on the back as well.
Right, I've got a question with bats.
Go on.
Do you have to knock them in still?
Yeah.
Yep.
You can get them pre-knocked in, although I've never done it. I've never knocked a bat in because I actually, without boring anyone, I actually like bats to be soft.
Okay.
Playing with them being soft, they don't last as long. But I much prefer that than when they feel much more dense when you hit a ball. But that's personal preference.
So your bat at the moment is prepared for your up and coming season?
Up and coming season, yeah.
Which starts in April?
It will be, early April.
But you've got nets coming up.
And nets will be sort of next few weeks, February, probably.
Oh.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
So you got the Warhorse ready?
Yeah, it's all ready to go.
Ready to go. Brilliant.
Right then, do we have any news to start our show off?
We have got some good news actually with Michael Carberry.
Yeah. Who
is returning back to his county after battling with cancer. He seems to be on the mend, and it's great news to hear.
That is really good news.
Michael Carberry famously had his back broken, didn't he?
Yes, he did, yeah.
But it's lovely to see him go back into county cricket. We've also got an interesting test series going on between
Bangladesh,
New Zealand and Bangladesh, where in the first test last week, I think I missed it off the news actually, but Bangladesh now hold the record for having them scored the most runs in the first innings and still losing.
Surprised we don't hold that.
No,
from
after
this test match series.
Bangladesh scored 500 and odd, and then in the second innings, New Zealand scuttled them out. But they're holding their own in the second test. They're doing well. More news is that Joe Root has snubbed the IPL to spend more time with his newborn son, which is nice, isn't it? Doesn't matter how much money, money the IPL want to throw at Joe Root. He said, "Not for me. I'm going to go home and spend time with my son." And also, England news is Bairstow replaces Hales for the up-and-coming T20 series.
Yeah, it's injury, isn't it?
So Hales has gone home with an injury to his hand, I believe. Which
a broken finger, I think. Something wrong with his...
mentioned the last series, the last episode. He must be kicking himself because he hasn't been able to get any runs on these nice pitches. Anyway, the third ODI between England versus India.
Right. Where do you want to start?
Oh, wow. England have won.
Yeah, we can start at the end because it's good news.
It's so nice, isn't it?
It is good. It is good.
And this was actually a brilliant game. We called for it in the last game. We said we want something for the bowlers a little bit more. And I can't believe I'm saying we got something for the bowlers when both teams have made over 315.
They are both batting heavy sides, aren't they?
Yeah.
So,
but it was just lovely to see.
The ball was moving around a bit, wasn't it?
The ball side was moving around. For both teams, it didn't matter, what time it was or who was bowling. Both teams got it to move. And both teams did really well to get over 300 actually with the bat. For those who've watched it, a really good masterclass in both bat and ball, but loads of different players actually. But England, Pippet, won by 5 runs.
Good game.
Great game.
Always going to be a good game.
Brilliant game. India lose 9 wickets while England lose 8. So it was just a nice balance actually. And I think that's where ODI cricket needs to go in the future. I don't want to see 350 again.
Do you think that just getting over 300, like we were saying before we started podcasting, is sort of becoming the new 270?
Oh, yeah, I think I think if a team gets under 300 now, especially on a good wicket,
you're in serious trouble, isn't it?
You're potentially below par.
Yeah.
That 290, that has to be par now. And 290 used to be like...
290 was a big score.
Remember when 250 used to be par?
Yeah, so you had 250.
Teams are going 100 runs over the top of that. England scored 444 in the summer.
Yeah, it's becoming just a long 2020 game, isn't it? It's like, well, I can afford to block a few and then have a go.
Yeah.
It's like get myself in, then play 2020.
Yeah, that last 20 overs, a lot of teams are doubling their scores.
Yeah.
So we see both India and England about getting 5 runs and over.
Yeah.
The 30th over, getting 150 on the board, and then the last 20 overs, turning it into a T20 and making huge totals.
Yeah.
350, sometimes scoring at 10 runs and over consistently over 20 overs, which is difficult if you're a bowler, if you've still got overs left. I actually think we should start with the England first innings. England get put into bat, which is both teams, I think, would win the toss and choose to bowl first because both teams like to chase, don't they? They've got that strong batting lineup that says...
India have got to be confident, haven't they?
We'll chase anything, yeah. We see Joe Root not in the team.
Yes.
I don't know if that's injury or
I'm not
resting.
Sure. I think it's probably resting, I would imagine.
I wonder if I think he's still involved with the T20s though. But have to double check that. Bairstow comes in for Joe Root, who plays in at number 3, and he picked up 56 off 64. Bairstow's one of those players that, in his current form, can just fit into any team, couldn't he?
Yeah.
And make runs. It's not a problem for him. But we see, as we spoke before, Hales has had to go home with a broken finger, and Sam Billings comes in. Billings scored 93 in one of the warm-up games, so deserved to get a spot. Yeah. I know maybe... Is it Jack Peters? Commented on before, might be looking for a Duckett call-up maybe, but unfortunately Bairstow finds his way to the T20 team. Roy, same old. It's great innings. I'm not having a pop here, but
I think we were saying in the last podcast that we're sort of having the tendency of getting going, but no one's making these big scores.
That's right, yeah.
Isn't it? I mean, looking at that scorecard, it's happened again.
Can you believe no one's made 100 in this innings and England have made 320?
Well, it just shows, doesn't it?
Crazy, isn't it?
So,
though it's a nice problem to have for Roy, isn't it? It's like, I'll get out after I got 50. Same for Root, really. Yeah. But in an ideal world, you need to push on and make 120. We've seen him do it before.
Yeah.
But just this series hasn't really worked out for him.
Well,
it's not been he's not been getting hundreds.
Yeah.
He's worked out. He's probably got a brilliant average, above 60. But Stokes has actually played really well this series with the bat anyway.
It's over the last, probably over the last year, his mindset must have changed.
He's matured as a player. Yeah. What I like about Stokes is I feel like if he feels like he hasn't done well enough, he'll stick his hand up and be like, right, I've got to go away and work at something here. This is my fault. Yeah. Actually, I feel like if a team wins and loses, he could change that himself. So he takes that responsibility on. And 57 off 39 to end the innings, he's actually becoming, him and Butler, becoming those players that staying one of them out. If it doesn't pay off, the other one will.
How well has Chris Woakes done as well?
34 off 19, yeah.
That's brilliant for a player that low down.
In the last 6 overs, they hit 60 runs off India.
That's crazy.
In the day. But India, I've been really impressed throughout the series with Pandya.
Right.
Who picked up 3 for 49 today. And obviously we've had Jadeja's bowled well. Ashwin, not so well today, but he had a good game last game. 321 off on that wicket. England did very well with the bat. England and India must be the forerunners of making runs in ODI cricket. They've both got a brilliant long batting lineup.
Do you think there would be much difference playing in England between these two teams in one day?
No, that's a good question because this pitch
was much closer.
Was closer to your England. Yeah. There will be more wickets taken. I know that sounds silly, but more wickets. I mean, taken with wicket-taking delivery. Yeah. So the bowler will get the batsman out more, rather than the batsman having to slug out towards the end. But I still think you'd have a very evenly matched team because the batting lineups are so long. So you still get big scores.
Saying that, I don't think, the Test series we got smashed. Mm-hmm. I don't think we have in these one-dayers. I don't think we've been smashed.
No, there's been
so they've been competitive.
A lot more evenly matched between the batting lineups, not necessarily the bowling lineups.
It could be something as close as one team just being at home,
Yes,
making the difference.
Yeah. Well, something we haven't done on this podcast I don't think we've ever done it.
No, not on the podcast hasn't been going long enough for us.
We're going to commend England for their bowling efforts today.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have never done this in 18 episodes.
We've picked some out, but
Yeah.
the bowling attack today
As a whole.
worked well.
Unfortunately, David Willey only could bowl the 2 overs, bowled them really well, but picks up an injury and he might be out actually for the T20 series. But Ball, Plunkett and Stokes, brilliant today. All got it to move, especially Ball. Ball has this knack of getting it to move a lot, actually.
Yeah. It's a reverse swing he gets going, isn't it?
Well, you would think so, but it's weird because today there was dew,
Yeah.
so that will stop that. And also, I remember in ODIs, there's 2 balls at each
Yeah.
end. So that idea of reverse swing, no ball reverses after 25 overs are being played with.
No.
Or even 20.
Although saying that, I wonder whether it's the white lacquer on the ball. It is different to the red ball, so it might start reversing earlier.
Yes,
because it does get, you see it, especially in India, it looks so horrible after a while, the ball.
It does.
Just gets
I
battered.
just think the dampness of the pitch might knock out the reversing. But anyway, Ball got it to move.
Ball was getting it in the Test series as well.
Yeah.
You could see he could move the ball.
Yeah. I actually think Ball he's younger than us. I think he's 21, 22.
Right.
I think he's actually a player for the future. That if England are able to,
If you can swing the ball, you're always
if
going
he
to be in with a
stays in
shout,
and around that England
giving
side,
batsmen problems.
he will maybe even look to bump himself above the likes of Stephen, Finn, or Wood.
He should be in front of them now.
But
yeah, really, it's nice, isn't it? Being able to say, England bowled well today.
There was still some things that you thought, you know what, that's not great. But I'd like to actually say, well done to Owen Morgan. We actually saw him. How many times have we said this with England? That they'll go the whole session, the whole day, sticking to one plan.
Right, yeah.
Owen Morgan found out that bowling short didn't work.
Right.
That bowling Yorkers in the last game didn't work. So they bowled a lot of length balls. And then started to switch it up. They switched lengths up really well. The short ball did work once. Yuvraj Singh got hit with a ball.
Right, yeah.
Right in the chest. Boom, hit him. And that was great. But then we saw...
That was great. You're not a fan of him, are you?
But we saw some short stuff that wasn't ideal. And
I wonder whether
India did punish us
I don't
in some
know
overs.
what the deal is there. I hope we just slowly come out of this.
Yeah,
we can
we have
anyway.
to,
I don't want to go into it, but we know the problem there.
But England, it was actually a pleasure to watch you bowl.
Woakes is really good, isn't he? Just coming as an all-rounder.
Yeah, the Woakes actually had to hold his nerve in the final over. Ball
Yes.
bowled a brilliant penultimate over where he let probably a couple through, and then somebody who we must go on and talk to is Yadav. Talk about, not talk to. Well,
Yeah.
if he wants to come on the show, he can. But Yadav scored 10 off the first 2, and they needed 16 off the over. So 6 off 4 balls.
Yeah, 6 over cover.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The power and the timing. But then Woakes gets a few dots in and then gets him out. And he just stuck his... It was even 6 off 2. And you're thinking, you only got to hit a 4 here and you've tied the game at least, with a single off the last ball.
And it's like, he's just hit you for 6 over cover.
Yeah.
So it's not like he could do this in one ball anyway.
But when Yadav skied one out straight to Billings, it looked...
Wouldn't like that catch, would you?
No, it still looked actually a little bit sketchy for the last 2 or 3 balls.
Yeah.
But Woakes kept his nerve and saw us home.
That's what games should come down to, isn't it? That's what you want to see.
It's better than a penalty shootout. It's not as harsh, is it? It's actually...
No. Whoever holds their nerve is going to do... It's like... It's different. It's much better.
So England win by the vital 5 runs. I just want to talk to you about Yadav, actually, and Panda. We saw this Yadav has already scored 100 in I think it was the first ODI. It was brilliant. Brilliant 100. And we saw him score 90 today and just get pipped to the post by England. But that Indian batting lineup.
It's crazy, isn't it? To have someone that strong, that far down the lineup.
And you look at that Panda, and then you've got Jadeja and Ashwin, and we know they can bat after the Test series. Do you think that batting lineup pips England?
Yes.
Very similar, but I think maybe slightly just because they've got the likes of Yadav and Panda who can come down and.
I think they have more potential of each player making big scores
Hundreds
than England do.
Yeah,
that's probably the
that's a fair
difference.
enough point. Actually, something that a lot of people won't have picked up, which when I was watching the game was quite nice. How brilliant is Sam Billings and Johnny Bairstow in the field?
Right.
For players that have been brought up as wicketkeepers and had to play
Wicket-keepers, they've always got energy though.
all their cricket at county
Bouncing
level
around the place.
as a wicketkeeper, and then to come in and just.
They've always said that about Bairstow though.
Oh yeah, but he's
just brilliant.
Brilliant runner.
Yeah.
But Sam Billings showed how much of a great fielder he is. Jake Ball, not so. Dropped only on 35, and it looked like.
Got to have someone dodgy though. It's the England team, isn't it?
Though I tell you what, Jake Ball's face when Liam Plunkett watched that go down, you should have seen it. It was just like, well, he'll go and get 100 now, don't you? You know he will go on and get 100.
I'll tell you something, because we've been praising England here, and I think we're getting carried away. I want to bring up a negative.
Yeah.
Again, with shot selection,
Back
and
to the batting,
I think that's what could be preventing
the big hundreds.
The big hundreds.
Yeah.
And I don't understand. I don't know the thinking, or whether it's like the problem is concentration.
I think you can allow shot selection if it's getting towards. If it's the 35th over onwards.
Right.
You can allow, if you want to play crazy shots to score crazy runs, that's fine. But if it was like the Roy or the Billings.
Well, Billings is the one that really annoyed me because I'm like a purist anyway.
Yeah.
So I love proper, and you can score playing proper cricket shots. That's why they're there. That's everyone plays them. That's why you're taught them. And I don't mind the reverse sweeps and those weird paddles and stuff, but there needs to be the gap, right? So he's picked.
Yeah, okay. So he's picked the man straight
a
out.
weird shot to play when they've put that. They obviously know that's an option, so they filled the gap, and then he's played the shot anyway and got out.
I think 5 or 6 years ago, I remember people saying, commentators and pundits alike used to say, "Well, he's played such a risky shot, the reverse sweep or something like that.
Yeah,
such a risky shot for one,
Right.
But I think these unorthodox shots now are coming just as risk-free as, playing through maybe across the line or through the covers early in swinging conditions. These are becoming normal shots for cricketers now.
I think they're becoming practice shots, definitely. Like they're actually practiced, which I don't think they used to be.
Well, I think they're the attributes in this, unorthodox way of playing cricket has been improved greatly.
Yes,
through T20 and things like that. And they're actually becoming like less risk.
I don't know about that.
Well,
I think that it's become less risk because they practice it. So that's going to help because you'll get better as they practice it.
The thing is, I think what a lot of people are seeing that it's easy for somebody to say, "Oh, he got out playing a silly shot." People might be getting out more playing silly shots because they're playing more of them, but they're scoring an awful lot of runs still at the same time before they're getting out.
Yeah, but I just
how many runs you look at wagon wheels now? How many runs are you seeing? 360.
Yeah. I need the gap to be there though, to pick a silly shot. It's like, well, he tried to play the reverse sweep, but there was a massive gap there.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, and he's just totally miscued it, and it's gone. But it was play a different shot, play one. Yeah, but I don't understand.
Hindsight's a wonderful thing, though, isn't it?
But it doesn't need hindsight. You're telling me he doesn't know the field before he's played the shot? That's just lack of concentration for me. Unless he's backed himself to hit it over him.
Well, I think if you go down to that shot, I don't think you've not looked to see who's there. It's not like a short ball where you might think that might just come on you and you think I'll have a go.
Well, it's premeditated, definitely.
So he must know the field is there, but players now back themselves to these weird shots to be pulled off, and they're just not pulled off all the time.
Well, I would be saying, because obviously they work and there are huge scores being made, but you'd be thinking, look, people aren't making big scores. Can we leave it out until after 35 over, like you say? Do you know what I mean?
The thing is, though, I think with an Indian wicket especially, the one that's not turning anyway. It's a nice wicket. How many times are bowlers getting batsmen out? Hardly ever. The batsmen are getting themselves out, aren't they?
I think it's got to be. I wonder whether because Billings was on 35 or 58, and he's just thinking, I'm taking up quite a few balls here. I'm going to try and hit a boundary or put the bowler off, and I'll hit him for 4 over the top of that fielder he's put there, and then he'll move him, and then I don't know. It must have been something.
Yeah,
like
so that's fair enough.
But Roy got out playing a poor shot as well. It's just shot selection.
Shot selection. You'd like them to go away
straight. Just get all your runs in the V.
Do you think it's like players are so strong now and so spend so much time in the gym?
I know they can do it.
They should back themselves to play straight and up and over, shouldn't they?
Yes,
if you think
definitely.
if you think that's less risky is trying to hit someone for 6 rather than reverse sweep for 4, then play straight. Is that what you'd rather see? Someone take the risk of going up and over the field rather than...
You've got your chances are just much higher of hitting the ball well. But I understand why it's done. And I don't want to see it completely cut out. I just think there's a time to do it, and they're picking the wrong ones at them. And that's why they're not making massive scores. Individually, I mean, because the team are making big scores.
Oh, you should have seen, I think it was Yuvraj Singh. Right, we've seen Yuvraj Singh hit every ball to cow corner and get 4s and 6s, right? Something's clicked in Owen Morgan's mind and thought, the bowlers are bowling this back of a length. It's not great, but I can't really stop them doing that. So we'll put someone out of cow corner, picks Johnny Bairstow out. He doesn't have to move. Johnny Bairstow just puts his hands up and it picks him out perfectly. It's a bullet as well, straight to him.
One of those.
Well done, Owen.
It's like he putting a fielder where he's hitting it. Brilliant. Good captaincy.
Wow. England win a game. I think
it's nice, isn't it?
Just nice to end it.
It was a bit of a shock. It's the first one of the tour. I've been out there for a long time. Yeah. It's our first win. What do we think with the upcoming 2020 series? How many games are there?
There's 3 match series. So what's your prediction straight off the bat?
I will go. I'm going to go for an England 2-1.
I'm going to go India 2-1. I want England to win 2-1, but you said it, so I'll go against you. Right. And I'll say India 2-1.
I think it's less.
It's more what happens on the day, isn't it? Well, it's the same with ODI now, but it's something that comes off in 2 overs will change the game now.
Exactly.
Both teams will have a very strong T20 side, just like the ODI side. I can't envisage too many changes. Obviously, Johnny Bairstow comes in. Whether he gets himself in the team is a different matter.
I'm not aware, because India might have some players from the IPL that have just 2020 specialists.
Maybe India might be the most experienced T20, high pressure T20 anyway.
Yeah, but I'm going to back England to take the 2020 series 2-1.
2-1.
And go on. Sorry,
are you going to make any changes to the team that we've seen today?
I quite like.
Maybe Joe Root to come back in for Bairstow.
No, I quite like Bairstow, and especially 2020. I don't really miss Joe Root. 2020.
You say I think he's go back home.
Yeah, he can go back home. It's not a massive loss.
That's fair enough. Anybody else? You probably happy with Billings, aren't you, to stay there?
Yeah, I quite like the team. I've got no problem with it.
I just want to talk to you about spin. We've spoke about it so much on this podcast, but are you looking to bring in maybe, because it's just Mo and Ali at the moment, you looking to say Dawson or Ashwin, come and have a go?
That'd be great.
Or Rashid. Just
no.
Come and turn your arm over 4 overs.
Not Rashid, please.
See, I want to go against you. I can't believe I'm saying this.
You want Rashid in there?
I think so. I think with Mo and Ali, you don't have to bowl Rashid because you've got that 6th bowler. So if he gets smashed off 2 overs, you don't have to bowl another 2 with him.
So what do you want? Well, I don't understand.
Rashid to come in for the team for somebody like Ball, maybe, or...
Ball? We've just been saying how good he is. What, like Plunkett?
Plunkett or...
I don't think you can get rid of Plunkett. He's too good with a bat. He's too useful.
Yeah.
He can win you the game, especially 2020. He could win you it at the end.
Well...
Would you be against, right?
David Willey's injured, so maybe...
Would you be against dropping Mo and Ali and putting Rashid in?
No, this is the thing, because Mo and Ali gives you this 6th bowler, which I really like. But he's also a batsman. But there's only 20 overs to play, if you know what I mean. How many balls will Mo and Ali get?
Would you be against that?
No. If that's a way for Rashid to get in the team, I'd like to see Rashid because he's done well in IPL. He's done generally well in T20, and leg spinners they pick up wickets in T20.
They do.
But whether
you have to pitch the ball.
Whether his just confidence is so shot. We said it's a different ball game, quite literally. But we said that Duckett's confidence is shot. That's why he shouldn't be playing anymore in India. Go back home, play well for your tour. If your county's on a tour, if you're going to be in the nets, just play well. Maybe the same for Rashid if that's going to be the case.
Yeah, he just needs to
just go back. Just go back home because you're shot.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So maybe Dawson. But apart from that, I'm just not that confident Moeen.
I would quite like to see a spinner because they do so well in 2020, which I didn't think would be the case when 2020 started taking over. I didn't think spin bowling would.
That's right.
It would sort of rejuvenate spin bowling. It's nice to see.
I think we'll end with. Have you enjoyed this ODI series?
Me?
Yeah. Just quickly, what do you think of it?
Yes and no. Yes, because
it's been more evenly matched in the Test series.
Yeah, and each game it's kind of both teams have been in it, but the first two, I don't like those huge scores.
It's just too much.
Yeah. The third one was the best one, because England won. Not because England, but if India would have won it in that last over, you'd still go, that was the best game.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
The series.
Well, I was prepared to say it when I was watching the game. I think the ODI series has been way more enjoyable than the Test series, even though England again have been outbowled, especially outbowled. Maybe the last game, but
are you a bit worried about England's Test future going forward? I know we're finishing, but just because of that, it was an utter bashing, wasn't it? It's like you can see our one day we're really competitive because India are possibly the best team. And it's like, do we just need to have a total thing? I mean, this could be a podcast in itself, couldn't it?
I think it probably.
So we might leave it for another day. Yeah,
I think if I was to just briefly sum it up, no, because it's such a long. It's the English summer coming up.
Okay.
If it was, we had to go out somewhere else again. So if we had to go to Australia after this,
right,
I'd be shitting it.
Yeah.
But I'll have a few brief words on the ODI series. It's nice to see Indian fans get back into ODI cricket because a few years ago they were starting to peter just towards IPL or T20. Yeah. International games weren't getting sold out. Seeing 40,000 people there is brilliant.
It's good, isn't it?
And we can see the difference between ODI cricket and Test cricket just with the podcast, the amount of people viewing.
We still got over 300 views for our last podcast. That's brilliant.
The last one, the one before it picked up 900 now.
Yeah, but people realised what it was.
We're just going to say, again, thank you for all those views.
It's crazy.
Thank you for those of you who have stayed on to the 28th minute and listened to us.
And new subscribers.
Thank
you very much.
Yes, we are picking up new subscribers. If you're Indian, then make sure you continue with us after the series. We will bring you Indian content.
Yeah, and don't go losing the next Test series you play, and then just go, "Oh, England must be rubbish."
We would love to hear from you guys. It's our favourite part of the podcast.
Absolutely. Comments are fantastic.
Is seeing your guys' comments. Make sure you give us a comment below. We will look at them and bring them up in a future episode. In the next couple of episodes, we'll have a chat about the comments we've had. Likes help us out a whole deal, but make sure you subscribe because we wouldn't want you to miss the T20 series that's coming up next week. We'll be back then. And then that will be it for everything. Thanks again, guys.
Thanks.